Joining us now, Tennessee Congressman Mark Green. Congressman, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure. We're thinking about everybody in your home state of Tennessee. I know they've been dealing with some rough weather over the past couple days, so we're certainly thinking about everyone down in Tennessee this morning.
Thank you.
House Democrats rejected your amendment to block the Biden administration from tearing down the border wall. On January 20th, workers that were down there, and I don't think people are aware of this, they were told after Biden signed that executive order basically to put their tools down and go home, meaning that we have, in some places, 25 miles of perfectly good wall with a 30-foot gap in the middle of it, which kind of defeats the purpose of the wall.
Absolutely. And, it's contracts that were written between the federal government and private industry that they basically are just violating. So that's going to be lawsuits. That's sort of a side effect to this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not stopping. And people, and of course, the rhetoric, just saying that, getting that in the press incentivizes people to pour across the southern border. That's why we're at, I think February was 175% increase over last February. Mayorkas also said in his testimony the other day, we're on pace for a 20-year record at our southern border. And that's because of the policies of Joe Biden and House Democrats.
And they keep pushing that goalpost back. It was 5 years, 10 years, now it's 20 years. This is going to be a generational crisis, whether they want to acknowledge that or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you served in Iraq and Afghanistan. How concerned are you that at least 4 terrorists on FBI watch list tried to cross our southern border? They were apprehended, but my question is how many might have already gotten through the border that we don't know about? And we do know that people from the Middle East, from Yemen, Turkey, Iran, are making their way through the southern border right now.
Yeah, this is a part of their agenda to infiltrate the United States, and they can put terrorist cells in very easily when the border is so porous. I mean, you talk about our detention facilities, our facilities down there are at 300, some of them at 360% capacity.
Wow.
When it's thousands and thousands, 9,500 unaccompanied children, they start focusing on those children, and it becomes very easy to miss. When you catch 4, that means there are more that have slipped through. It's this debate about whether or not it's a crisis or whether or not Biden wants to call it a crisis. It's gone well beyond that, and this is a tragedy of epic proportions, and the national security of America is at risk.
500 unaccompanied minors are crossing the border every single day. We haven't seen numbers like that since Bill Clinton was president. This is beyond a crisis right now. I want to play a soundbite for you from President Biden when he was running for president. He made his intentions very clear for how he would handle immigration at our southern border. Take a listen.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Congressman, if I'm in Mexico or Central America and I want to come to America, that is all the incentive I need right there.
Absolutely. Their rhetoric, both in the campaign and his executive orders that he did almost day one, stopping construction on the wall, ending the deal that Trump put together with Mexico to hold migrants in Mexico, the Northern Triangle, the Central American countries of the Northern Triangle, he had an arrangement with them. That was torn up. All of those things combined to create an incentive. People operate on incentives, and they are pouring across the southern border. There's a reason that illegal immigration is illegal. We don't have the capacity to take care of these people. We are exhausting our resources. And the downstream effect is employment for Americans. We're not at full capacity yet. We have unemployed Americans. These individuals are just being incentivized to come into America. It's wrong. It is absolutely wrong. And, you think about the risk of people taking this trip, the coyotes, the cartels that are making billions of dollars from, transporting these individuals. Doctors Without Borders said 32% of the women who make this trek are sexually assaulted. I mean, this is horrific. And yet the Biden administration seems to be encouraging it.
Encouraging or complicit. A group of 40 GOP senators asked the Government Accountability Office to decide if President Biden's decision to freeze more than $1 billion to fund the border wall violates federal law. Are Democrats breaking the law?
Well, they certainly are. It's illegal. It should never be right for a person to come to America through an illegal means.
Right.
It is completely unfair. So absolutely, they're encouraging lawless behavior.
Quickly, I want to ask you if you would define the situation on our southern border as an intense difficulty, trouble, or danger.
would say it's extremely dangerous to Americans. It's extremely dangerous. Think of our CBP personnel with this map. Many of them aren't vaccinated. And we know for a fact that
Right.
COVID positive patients are pouring through. They're having to handle those. It is dangerous on so many levels.
That is the Webster Dictionary definition of the word crisis. And I think that perfectly describes what's happening on our southern border. Congressman Mark Green, we appreciate your time. Come back and see us. Great information.
Thank you. Have a good day.